welcome back to the podcast. This is your Manchester United versus AFC Bournemouth preview. I believe Bournemouth, at the moment, at the time of me recording this video, are 19th in the Premier League, second last, 6 points ahead of Norwich, on par with Villa, 1 behind Watford and 3 behind West Ham, 6 behind Brighton, I believe, as well. So very interesting stuff at the bottom, and that is probably what makes this game a little bit more tumultuous than it would have been in other circumstances. And then on the bright side, Manchester United off the back of a superb result coming into this game in fifth place, just behind Chelsea and just behind Leicester. So smash the like button, consider subscribing if you want us, if you're interested in hearing us talk about the game. We'll be giving our thoughts, our predicted XI, what we think might happen and what we think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might do. And also the importance of this game in the context of current times, because the FA Cup draw was done now, and I believe the FA Cup games are pretty far away, so we don't have to worry too much about that. I think it's all about the Premier League and making top four now. So without any further ado, gentlemen, just out the gate, how are you feeling, first of all, on this Friday afternoon?
I'm good. United, they keep me in a good mood, and when my team wins, I feel like the week is going to turn out good. When the team doesn't win, though, I feel like that week is horrible. But yeah, I'm in a good mood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm also good. So Liverpool get thumped last night. That made me be a bit happy. It made me sleep.
Greatest team of all time. Yeah. Greatest team of all time. Yeah. Smashing the points record. Yeah. Greatest team of all time. Yeah, sit down. After your guard of honor, you lost 4-0. You didn't deserve that guard of honor. Actually, that guard of honor should have come, in a game where you actually played like champions. Yeah. So if there's any Liverpool fans listening, you can shove your trophy where the sun don't shine, because that was awful. That was bloody awful last night. And I hope you feel awful. I really do, because I'm a petty United fan who has nothing better to do with his time than to celebrate a Liverpool loss. I know I sound like an Arsenal fan right now, but I'm in a very low place Liverpool fan, so you'll just have to forgive me. But yeah, I'm good as well, guys. It was fun. I didn't even watch the game. I saw the highlights and I was like, wow, the highlights look better than the actual results, because I saw the result and I was like, no way, Liverpool actually got back to that.
It honestly could have been like 8. It could have been like 8.
Dude, Liverpool.
Klopp should be praising VAR.
Well. But after City scored, they fell apart. Dude.
That's worrying. Because I know today's show is about Bournemouth and about Manchester United, and we'll get to that in a bit. But it is more interesting, and I'm sure everyone listening will agree with us, to talk a little bit about what is the chances that Klopp is going to build a dynasty at Liverpool after what you saw yesterday. And I know yesterday is a bit reactionary. I know the 4-0 result in the grand scheme of things doesn't really mean anything, because Liverpool probably weren't playing that seriously. Subconsciously, they probably just switched off because of the trophy. But what do you guys think after yesterday's result? Like, are you worried about this team building a dynasty? I mean, obviously, United fans, we want them to fall apart, but I don't know.
I was telling my dad yesterday, he's a Liverpool fan, and one of my friends was a Liverpool fan, that, last night I would, I can understand it or whatever, but I don't think Klopp would accept it. I mean, I always think about the same thing with my own team. As soon as complacency comes into the team, you're just not hungry. You don't want to put in as much effort. You let things slip. You don't want to put in the extra 10%. And, that's the problem. If Liverpool allows complacency and those type of performances to sneak in, they will never, ever build a dynasty. And that was what everyone always asked Sir Alex Ferguson. How did you always keep them hungry? How did you always remove the complacency every season? You want it to be. Papa. Exactly. And that's the other thing about Liverpool. I was telling my dad and them. I'm like, yeah, this team is great and everything, but you were blessed with injuries this season. Not one of your starting 11 big players got injured. And even if they did, there was a pandemic you could recover from. But other than that, I don't see them spending. And if they do, that'll be great. I think that's a big part. I think they do have to spend because, again, when I look at the Liverpool team, by the first team, I think they're in trouble.
And it's funny because if you want to make the argument for Man City, the evidence is there. People forget Man City actually retained the Premier League, which is insane. That's unheard of. A team in the 21st century retaining the Premier League. How we never ever talk about that, I don't know. We're also in awe about Liverpool, but what about what Man City did? They had a better second season than they did the first season, and they retained the Premier League, mate. Do you understand that, mate? They did the hardest thing to do as an English team, and they still had a better... They improved when they were, in hindsight, when you could have said it would have been understandable if Man City dropped off in that second season. I don't know how Liverpool are going to build on this. they're showing such frailties.
And my dad was even like,
4-0. Yeah.
And my dad was even like, he's like, son, you gotta understand though, we waited so long, 30 years, whatever. You can, and I'm like, that's the problem. I'm like, this is you as a fan are already being more complacent. I can see next season you're not going to be as hungry to win any trophies because you feel like you've done everything you wanted in life.
Yeah, everything you were born, everything you were born for, you got it now.
Everything that 30 years you waited, now it's done.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Where's the hunger to go again?
To defend Klopp a little, they did get 97 points and then win the league the next season. So he's shown that he can keep them consistent, but they were very complacent last night, and 4 goals is just not acceptable. 4 is too much.
Not acceptable.
It's not even about Klopp, bro. But yeah, go on. I'll respond. Yeah.
So I think Shin is right. They need to spend. If they don't spend, I don't see them building a dynasty. They need to keep the players on their toes.
It's not about Klopp for me. I trust Klopp. I think I'm scared that Klopp is at Liverpool because of all the managers that have come to Liverpool. I think he will be the one to build the dynasty, if anyone. I don't think the problem will be Klopp. I don't think Klopp is sat there going, 4-0's not that bad. We're still champions. No, Klopp's not sitting there.
Yeah.
My problem is with the players, bro. My problem is with the players in the fan base. That's my problem. I have no doubt that they're professional footballers and they have ambitions of doing things that most teams can't do. They're going to want to win, obviously. No professional footballer walks into Anfield and is like, I really don't care about this game. I've got what I've waited for 30 years. I'm just going to let them score 4 past us. No, they're obviously going to want to play well, but we know that in football, you don't get what you want. You get what you play for, and you get what the circumstances, give you, if you're able to take advantage of it. And I just think with Liverpool, it's not just yesterday. Because people are going to hear this and be like, here we go again. Rival fans panicking after we lost 4-0. No, Chief. We spoke about this when y'all got knocked out of the FA Cup and when y'all got knocked out of the Champions League. And y'all were like, yeah, but we're still going to win the league. And then you're like, we're still going to go invincible. And then y'all lost to Watford and you're like, okay, we'll just take the league. And it's like, yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about. You guys won the league, great. But there's no evidence to suggest that this team can win multiple trophies across multiple seasons because they always seem to be focused on one thing. And they always find a way to bottle the rest, But I don't know. Let me know what you think, Dumbo.
That's the problem. Squad depth.
Yeah, that as well. Squad
I think we need to give it to Klopp for the fact that they don't have such a big squad, but not just Klopp, just the team at Liverpool to be able to keep them fit for so long. Imagine if Van Dijk got injured this season. That would have hindered them. So if they don't sign, and then God forbid Van Dijk does get injured next season, it will hold them back. So they need to sign players.
Fam, listen. If Van Dijk got injured and then Lovren was the one who slipped when Rashford ran past him, there would have been memes about it for years to come if Liverpool ended up choking that league, fam. Because I don't know if you know, but Rashford actually put Van Dijk on his back. You man don't want to talk about that, but Rashford did. And if that was Lovren and you guys ended up losing the league, there would have been so many memes about that. But anyways, I digress. Today's about Bournemouth and Manchester United. So Bournemouth, what is there to say about them, guys? They're 19th. They're 19th. And on their day, they can play football, but they're 19th. And they don't have that many on their days. They're not on their day many days. Many days is just a normal day, which is 19th for Bournemouth. Now, what do you think of Bournemouth staying up, I guess? Because I think it's a bit shallow for us to sit here and talk about what they might do on the day. We know if we lose, it's 100% our fault, and not because Bournemouth played stupendously.
Newcastle smacked Brighton, and then we smacked them, and then Newcastle smacked Bournemouth 4-1, and now we're playing Bournemouth. But
and they smacked
and I always say with these relegation teams, the desperation it's sometimes it can pull out some other result, and that's the only thing that's the only reason why I'm worried about is Bournemouth's desperation to get points or fight for the league, and I'm also worried about that this week has been perfect for United. Everything was perfect for United for this leading up to this weekend and this game. And I just don't want us to buckle it. You need to get 3 points this weekend.
If you want something to comfort you, yeah, 100% I agree. But if you want something to comfort you, I mean, there's no better manager at United to deal with the team that's trying to play at us. I'm just going to put it out there. And maybe I'm dangerously relaxed. But there's no better manager. If Bournemouth come in, they say, yeah, we're desperate to survive, and they come at us. That's a good thing because we'll just hit them on the break. That's what we want. So
true.
Look, I think the desperation plays a part, but then what worries me a little is that they have players who can make a difference. As much as they're in the relegation zone, they have one or two players here and there who can make a difference. And if we are off, they can take advantage of that. So I feel like we need to be on. We need to be on it and just if we're on it and the way they're playing, I feel like we could smash these guys. We could just push them out of the way.
we could smash
And
them.
that's what we need to. That's the mentality we need to take to the vitality and just destroy them because they're struggling right now. They're 19th. They're shipping goals like nobody's business. And I've seen this before, and I've seen Eddie Howe somehow revive them out of nowhere. So I don't know if it's going to happen again, but we need to make sure it doesn't happen against us.
Nah, I honestly like, and I might have egg on my face in a few days, but I honestly trust Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because if there's one thing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does well is hit teams on the break. How many times have we been sat here in the past saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer loses these kinds of games? It seems like United aren't losing these kinds of games anymore since the lockdown's over. But if Bournemouth do try play at us, that's a good thing. I really do think. Like if Bournemouth start off well, even if maybe if they nick an early goal, that's bad because then they'll just sit back and we have to come at them and that might ruin our confidence. But if they come at us, I really don't see it being a bad thing. And if we score the early goal, even better because they have to come at us, even more so if they're 1-0 down
And like
to try get a draw.
Yeah. The thing I've noticed about Bournemouth, they don't know how to keep a balance. They're not like Brighton, who can sit back but still know how to handle the ball going forward. They either put everybody behind the ball or they give everything. So that's not going to work well against us.
Yeah, it's a lack of experience. They don't really know how to... it's a combination of the fact that they're a small club and also they just don't have the experienced players, you know. They don't know how to keep... They're very panicky.
And like parking the bus is just not in their nature. They prefer to play out. And when they do park, it's just out of necessity.
Yeah, 100%. To answer my own question, of the small teams, I kind of like Bournemouth, and I don't want to see them go down just because, you know, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I kind of like Bournemouth being in the Premier League. I do. I fancy a small team that plays a bit of football, you know, because it just makes for an entertaining result every now and then. A nice 2-1 upset, you know. It just makes the league that little bit extra entertaining. I would love to see Watford go down because I don't like Watford. I would love to see West Ham go down even more than Watford because I actually despise West Ham. You know, and they're only 3 points away. They're 3 points away, Papa. Hey. One more bad result.
Against Chelsea.
I did, but like one more bad result. Like the performance against Chelsea for me is more.
And what I liked about him,
how inconsistent Chelsea
David
is.
Moyes is taking a chance. Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, you can go. Son.
That's what I liked about the performance. David Moyes is taking a chance. Like there's so many new players that brought in, but then the older manager was reluctant to integrate them to the squad. He's put all of them in and said, "Look, show us why we bought you," and it worked well against Chelsea.
Yeah, man, that man and Jose need to have a chat, fam. You know, Jose been rotating his squad like crazy, fam. He needs to learn from Moyes. Just put all your eggs in one basket. You ain't making top 4 anyways, so just play your best squad and see. Let them prove to you why they should be selected. You know, then wait there. But yeah, I don't know. I do respect. I respect West Ham, but I don't like them. So you know, don't get it messed up. I respect West Ham. I don't think they're mugs, and I think they should be doing much better than they are right now. But I don't like them, and so the fact that they're in 16th, 3 points away from the relegation zone, makes me smile. I hope they go down. I hope they go down. I hope they burn in the championship.
Okay. So, man, what did West Ham ever do to you? Is it because of that? Is it because of that Van Gaal season?
No. It's nothing. The jokes aside, I was just trolling there. Jokes aside, the reason why I don't like West Ham, and I've tried to explain this in the past, is because they annoy me. They're a club that had so much potential, and they were on the precipice of breaking into being a relevant club in the Premier League, and then they just bottled it. They make such shady decisions with the managers they hire and rehire in some cases. They have talent that they just let go, or they have talent that they try to keep, but then they don't build the team around them necessary to not just survive, but build on. They annoy me. They remind me so much of Arsenal. They talk about all these big ambitions. Yeah, they remind me of Arsenal. They're just like Arsenal. No offense to Arsenal fans who are listening, fam. If this is rubbing you the wrong way, good, because I'm doing my job. But West Ham, they have big club energy, but small club drive and small club execution, and that annoys me. You know, I don't like to see that. Like, well, what do West Ham do for the Premier League, fam? I've never seen a West Ham result, except bar the one against Chelsea. That was pretty good. That made me feel good. But, like, what do these guys do for the Premier League, you know? What do they do for the Premier League? I don't even watch
Yeah.
them that often, to be honest. That's why I don't.
They don't know what they are. They're
Yeah,
lost
they
between the small.
I feel like their feathers need to get ruffled a bit. They need to go spend a season in the championship and develop some grit and some drive. I'd rather Bournemouth stayed up because I feel sorry for them, or even Villa. Like I'd rather Villa stayed up, because of their history. Like who is West Ham?
Imagine a championship team playing at the London Stadium. That'd be a bit strange. It's a massive stadium.
That's another thing. Dude. These guys have a massive stadium, but they're in 16th, fam. Oh my god, get out of here. These guys are Arsenal 2.0, fam, without the Invincible Trophy and the history. They're an Arsenal 2.0 blood. They just buy midfielders and then do nothing with them. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. With regards to United,
I think going back.
Yeah.
No, I think going back to Bournemouth. I guess we're saying all this out of respect, but we really should beat them.
No, we should.
Yeah, if you look at it from all angles, we should beat them. If they sit back, we should beat them because of the way we're playing. If they come at us, we should beat them because of the way we've been playing since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got here and got the job. So there's nothing in it. If we both play crap, Pogba should still score a worldie, or Bruno should score a worldie, or Rashford should put in an assist for Martial to put away. There's no angle where I see Bournemouth winning this game and actually say fair play to them, because even if they do turn up and play stupendously, which they might, it's like they don't have that quality in the final third to beat us 3-0. So we should just hit them on the break and put them to sleep. I think with regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and how he needs to play, it would be nice to see us play them out the park and continue the streak that we're on. But how perfect United have been in the last 2 games makes me kind of anxious, because I'm just scared.
You can't trust.
When is it coming?
Yeah, when is it coming? When is reality coming back?
It's the PTSD of the last 7 years, guys. We've been through this before. It's like it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true.
And
if we continue on this run, I'm scared.
And then it's over.
Yeah, not even, boy, not even. If we go on a perfect run till the FA Cup game, I'm going to be sweating during that FA Cup game. Not because I care about the FA Cup game that much, but I feel like Chelsea will hurt us, fam. Just because when does United ever just end off on a good note and actually win trophies whilst making top 4 nowadays? It's unheard of.
Let's just hope. I guess that will mean progress.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's why this game was so important to me. I'm like, win this game. Do it how we've been doing it.
Every game's important.
Every game. Show us that we're on the road, please. Like I feel like we're on the road, but I want to be on the road. Like me, I'm walking across the car on the sidewalk. I'm like, nah, not yet.
Fam, I just don't want the car to crash. No, then wait there, fam. I know we're on the road and I know we're speeding up, but we don't really do well with high speeds at United, Been in a lot of accidents, and we've turned a lot of corners and then out of nowhere, and you don't know what's going on. And then we're spending 3 months rebuilding the car that got us into that position. And so I believe we're on the road. I believe we've turned the corner. Genuinely, I do. Because the way we've been playing in the last, not just the last 3 or 4 games, but the last 14 games in the Premier League, even before lockdown, is more than enough evidence for me to suggest that there's something good going on in that dressing room. I just think that these games are, as important as they are, we've got to keep the momentum going. We've got to keep the momentum going.
Especially every time we've been in this position where the perfect results happen for us, and all we have to do is win our game, and we're there. We never do it. So this game, come on, please.
It's different this time. Because at least this time, we're actually playing good football. In the past, it was understandable because in the past, it was no secret that we struggled against teams like Burnley. Like, nobody went into that Old Trafford game saying we should have beat Burnley 4-0. No. We were like, we should at least beat them. We don't know how well we're going to play because of what's been happening in the season. We should at least beat them. Now we're saying, no, we should beat Bournemouth 3-0 because that's what we did to Sheffield and that's what we did to Brighton. So, it's different.
We were punching above our weight in the past games. In these games, we have the players to do it. And, they should do it. And really, the only threat is if an injury comes up. But besides that, we should beat these teams.
Yeah, dude, if United's season is an album, the song we were singing at the beginning of the album was Ollie's Out of His Depth. The song we're singing now is Ollie should win this game. Different songs, We're at the end of the album now. Let's hope he can finish it off on a bang, fam. Don't wait there. Just, to quote Mark Gobridge, hopefully we don't look like a field of cows on laxatives. Or hopefully we don't play like absolute crap on the weekend and we actually put this result away. But yeah, let's get into the predicted XI.
Yes, the predicted
pretty
XI.
easy
For the
to predict.
first time, I think since ever doing the show, I haven't had to change the lineup. I used the same one from last week because now I finally have a team that picks itself through and through every position.
Yeah, and then there's people who are still going on Luke Shaw when he's our best left back. Unbelievable. It's like it's the best team. It's the best team. Like going in on Luke Shaw, even if your arguments were valid, do nothing for this conversation because it's like it's the best team. It's the best of what we have, and we're not buying a left back anytime soon.
I'm really liking his consistency. It shows progress, and yeah, that's what big teams do. That's what teams that win titles do. They have a starting lineup that does the job, and then only if there's injury that those players in the starting lineup don't play. So I think this is our best team. If I have to pick someone who might not play, once again, it would be Mason Greenwood, and I think just for rotation's sake. But if it was me, I would play him.
Fam, that double samba and that freaking pulling of the trigger into the top left corner, blood. If he didn't start in this game, he'll turn some heads and some eyebrows will be raised. I can tell you that much.
He might see something in Greenwood's in James's pace for this game and say, why not? He's always trying to preserve Mason Greenwood because he's young. So I can see that. But I do think...
Yeah, and who else is James going to play against? Let's be honest. Who else is James going to... Poor James. He's playing against the 19 team. Like, that's the only game he gets into the starting side.
Dude.
Oh, poor James. But, who else is James going to play against, man? That's the only thing. So, if Dan James did start in this game, I wouldn't have massive issues with it. Should Greenwood start? Yes. Is Greenwood the better player? Yes. Is Greenwood a better right winger than Dan James? Yes. Does Greenwood do more for us in terms of getting past defenders? Yes. But do we need that against Bournemouth? Probably not. So I wouldn't be shocked if Dan James started. And I wouldn't be upset by it because I don't think it does anything.
The one guy I'll highlight for this game is Rashford. I think Rashford, this is a game for him. I think Rashford needs a goal. And I think, he needs to shake off some more rust. And I hope to see a more sharper Rashford and a more positive looking Rashford. So I really hope Rashford gets a goal this game.
I'm not too worried about him for reasons I explained in the last video. I mean, I get that, and you're 100% right. Rashford does need a goal to boost his confidence, but again, when your competition's Bruno, Pogba, Matic, and Martial,
there's so many players around him who can do the job. But I just I want Rashford to be on top of his form still. I want the Rashford.
I know. I get it. I want it too, but again, I feel like I'm dangerously relaxed going into this game. I'm like, if Rashford has back,
I'm not relaxed. I'm stressing. I'm stressing. I'm not relaxed. This game, I'm stressing. I'm chilling. A W after the weekend.
I'm chilling. I'm chilling, boy. I don't have time to be getting high blood pressure because United.
I have high blood pressure.
But if Bournemouth score first, I am back. They're shaking.
Yeah, that's different. But that's not gonna happen. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, no. I believe you fine when we're doing our match reaction and it says United.
I'm an objective person. I'm an objective person. People laughed at me when I said we'd become the next Liverpool. I heard the most ridiculous arguments from United fans. We have money. We'll never become the next Liverpool. We'll win a title. City won the title. We'll be back next year. Chelsea won the title. We'll be back the year after that. Leicester won the title. Okay, maybe we won't win a title. This Van Gaal guy, I don't know about him. Chelsea won another title. Man City won 2 titles. Now Liverpool have won a title and so on. I'm an objective guy. I don't enter matches relaxed or overly confident or overly exuberant if I don't need to. United have been positive, and there's no reason why we should lose this game, even if Bournemouth play well, because I know my team. Yeah. We can hit people on the break. We did it to Brighton. Brighton came out in the second half. We literally did it to Brighton. They came out in the second half with a positive attitude. What did you do? Volley off the break. So I'm genuinely not worried. The only thing that can stop us from winning this game is if someone takes a torque wrench and bashes Bruno's knee in, and then gives Pogba the flu, and then gives Martial the Rona, fam. And then we're relying on Rashford because he's been iffy lately. So, I really don't see an angle with Bournemouth. I can't stress for this game because it's like the Norwich game, not the FA Cup game, but the other Norwich game when we beat them 4-0 at Old Trafford. Even when United was that crap, I was like, we can't lose to Norwich. There's no way, right? So that's how I feel about this game. It's just, I don't see it.
And what's crazy to think is that, you're looking at this team now and you're just thinking, who's the weakest player on this team? And, on form, it's Rashford. Imagine saying that Rashford is the weakest player on this team. It's
Different
mad.
song, bro. Different song to what we were singing 3 months ago. So that's
He'll be
why I'm so
fine. I
relaxed.
think I'm okay with it because he's still threatening and he still takes the ball and makes defenders scared. And
Yeah,
he'll
like,
play into form.
I want Rashford to play well because he's my favorite player at the club. But like again, if he doesn't play well against Bournemouth, if we're 3-0 up, okay, Rashford, do your thing, bro. Get back into form. But we don't need you right now. Like that's where I'm at with Rashford. I don't need to see everyone having a 10 out of 10 performance because I think that's pushing it a little bit. Like I'm not that blindly optimistic that I want everyone to have a 10 out of 10. That's going to happen. If Rashford plays well, Martial will have a quiet game. If Martial plays well, Rashford will have a quiet game.
Someone
If
will
both
have
play
a
well, Pogba will have a quiet game. So
like,
I don't
there's
mind
no
it being Rashford.
dream scenario where Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood all going to score goal.
Yeah, like.
And if they do, wow.
Yeah, it's
There
just,
will be games like that, but obviously not every game.
Yeah, not right now. Not right now. Like we did. Like I'm just relaxed going into this game, but I'm not blindly optimistic. There's a difference, So I still understand that, we do have problems at the club, but it's Bournemouth and they're 19th. Like, come on.
Yeah, like please.
The fitness
please,
doesn't look.
I don't
up to
don't
scratch.
want to be sitting here on Saturday afternoon slagging about how we didn't win that game when we had to. Just get the job.
Just
Get the job done.
The only thing that stresses me about United nowadays is having to deal with the annoying Arsenal fans because that's how shallow they've become. Instead of celebrating their own success, oh wait, they don't have success. They have to sacrifice. They have to celebrate our lack of success. So that's the only thing that worries me nowadays. Having to deal with Arsenal fans.
They don't want to be alone.
They don't want to be alone, boy. Go support Liverpool. You'll never walk alone. There's a tip to solve your loneliness. But anyways, that was a bad joke. I think the thing about United is I understand what I wanted from when we came back from lockdown. So unless Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was actually a PE teacher with no CV, there was no ways he could have disappointed me after this. I made my intentions very clear when we came back from the break. If Leicester and Chelsea drop points in their first 3 games and then one of them drop points against each other, we should make top 4. If a scenario where Leicester and Chelsea are playing well and we can't catch them because we just had a bad start to the season, cool, no problems. We're in the first scenario. Leicester and Chelsea have dropped points. Leicester are crap at the moment. Chelsea are crap on some days, good on others. They lost to West Ham 3-2. So I'm going to go with Chelsea are crap. We drew our hardest game. We beat Sheffield. We beat Brighton. We beat Norwich with our weakest team. That's how bad Norwich are. They couldn't beat our weakest team. And I said the same thing about Bruges. When everyone was panicking after the Bruges 1-1, I was like, guys, relax. They couldn't beat our weakest team. That's a good thing. We're going to smash them when they get to Old Trafford. They tried their best against our weakest team. They tried their best against Pereira, Lingard, and Jones. Or was it Bailey? Can't remember. And Romero. And they couldn't beat us. So if Norwich couldn't beat our third team, I don't see how Bournemouth is going to beat our first team. It's as simple as that. And I don't think that's being blindly optimistic. I think that's just looking at the evidence that is before us.
Yeah.
That's the kind of football fan I am. I try to look at things as objectively as possible because I don't believe in this. I am obviously emotional sometimes. I'm not perfect, but I just believe in looking at things objectively and trying to separate your thoughts from your emotions. And right now, my emotions are super relaxed, but also my thoughts are like, but nothing can go wrong. The only thing that can go wrong is if United are extremely complacent and we let the game slip and then Bournemouth just sit back and we can't break them down. And that probably won't happen either because Bournemouth don't have the attacking threats to put away their chances. I don't think. But, again, it's football.
If this was a few months ago, it'd be a different story because you'd say, as much as they're playing bad, they have the player here and there, and we had Pereira and Lingard.
Yeah, if this is a few months ago, I'd be like, they could just mark Bruno and we're done because Pogba's injured. So
at the moment, I think we just have much for them.
The quality is just too much. Like, there's no ways Bournemouth
All he has to play
with Pogba, Fernandes. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't even think Bournemouth would. I think Bournemouth would narrowly lose to us if we played our 13, based on what happened on the weekend against Norwich. Like, Norwich are so crap that they couldn't even beat a team with Lingard playing on the left wing and Mata playing on the right wing. Like, that's embarrassing. Like, how did Jose lose to those guys? But anyways, I will never know. It just amazes me.
Before we move on, I feel like these small teams are suffering from there being no fans because they tend to feed off the passion of the fans, especially Bournemouth. So
and they're playing a lot more games.
It's like Jose famously said when he was a pundit, when he went through his pundit phase on Sky Sports, and they asked him, What do United have to do to beat Liverpool? I don't know if you guys can hear that banging, but if you can, it is construction, nothing else. Anyways, when Jose was going through his pundit phase, he was talking about he spoke about United having to have heart because quality Liverpool are going to play them out the park, which is true. We had to play with heart and all that crap. And it's like, if Bournemouth are relying on heart to beat us, it's like, it's not going to be enough, dude. You know, it really won't be. Unless they make some stupendous miracle, it's just not going to be enough. I'm going to stop talking now because I might jinx us, but God, I
I'm
cannot
touching
see
this
it.
with right here.
I can't see it.
On my desk.
Yeah, you can have fun with that, bro.
Hey,
When we're
what
3-0
would
up
you
on
know
the
if
weekend,
we?
when we're 3-0 up on the
What
weekend,
would you
I'll
know?
personally pick up the phone and be like, mate, I told you, relax.
I'll never.
What would you know if we do? If we do lose, the reaction is going to be so toxic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, on the one hand, if we lost, yeah, I mean, immediately after the game, I'd be very upset. But again, I understand my expectations at United, right? Let's just say we did lose to Bournemouth. Let's just say in this hypothetical situation that we've created just to generate content from the show because we're that shallow, Bournemouth win the game. If Leicester still lose on the weekend, which I think they will, I'll be more okay with it than if they won because they created a gap. That's what matters to me, you know? That's what matters to me. It's always about the bigger picture. If we're still 3 points behind Leicester after losing to Bournemouth, I'll be like, we lost to Bournemouth, but Leicester's so crap, they also lost, so it really doesn't matter that much. Let's see what happens in the next game. I wouldn't say that immediately in the match reaction. I'd be upset, obviously, but that would be my thoughts a week later.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
I just want to look forward. I just want to look forward. I want to look backwards. This team is doing very well. United just needs to get it over the line.
I looked forward as soon as Bruno Fernandes put on a shirt.
I don't want to create negativity where there is negativity, but like hypothetically, if we did lose and played badly, for me that would be worrying because if we're playing badly with the team that we have, that just brings up more questions.
Yeah, but that's exactly why we were upset against Norwich. That's exactly why we were upset against Norwich. That's exactly why I was upset.
That's why.
I was upset against Norwich.
No, I was fine because we didn't start our first team though.
Yeah, I know. But that's why I was upset against Norwich because I expect our third team to be comfortable against Norwich. Actually, I've watched our third team be comfortable against Norwich, even though Rashford was in it and Martial was in it. I watched the team without Bruno and Pogba beat Norwich 4-0 at Old Trafford. So for me, there's no excuses what happened against Norwich, and I will not accept it. I expect our third team to beat Norwich. Our third team played badly and they still beat Norwich. That's how crap Norwich are. So there's no excuses for our third team, and I will maintain that belief until the end of the season. That's how I felt against Norwich. So if we play badly against Bournemouth with our first team, I will obviously be fuming immediately after in the match reaction. But again, United aren't done. United aren't done with their problems. United haven't solved their issues. This club still has massive issues. Even if we make top four, this club still has massive issues. We're not winning the title next season. Get that out your head. Even if we sign Sancho and Grealish, we're not winning anything anytime soon. We still have massive issues. So I understand that. And even if we do continue this perfection and we win the FA Cup, win the Europa League, and win and make top four, that's just a box tick for me. That's not something to celebrate about. That's just a box tick. That's like, okay, you did what we expected from you. Cool. Let's move on now. Let's talk about what you actually need to do as Manchester United manager, challenging for a title. Can you do that? You know, so if our first team played bad against a team like Bournemouth, I would be fuming, blood. Because I was fuming when our third team. Yeah, I was fuming. I don't expect much from Jesse, but if you can't play well against Norwich, Chief, come on, Chief. Come on.
What does that say about you as a player as well?
Come on, Chief. Come on. Mr. Jesse Messi himself. Mr. J. Lings. But you can't play well against... Come on, Chief. Even for you, that's low, dude. Because, I mean, we make memes on the show about Jesse Lingard being crap. And the likes... I mean, if you compare the stats of Jesse Lingard and Ozil, they're pretty much on par this season. I think Ozil has only scored 1 goal for Arsenal and no assists this season. But if you're telling me that Ozil and Jesse don't get into the Norwich team, I'll be laughing at you, mate, because that's how crap I think Norwich is. That Jesse Lingard and Ozil actually get into those teams. So for me, there's no excuse for them to play badly against those teams because it's like, nah. Like, I think Jesse's crap, but not that crap. Come on. There has to be a bar somewhere, man. There has to be a bar somewhere.
Honestly, this might sound weird, but a part of me prefers Lingard over Ozil. Because Lingard is crap. And he'll try, but he's just crap. And there's not much you can do about that. Ozil is a really talented player, but then, I don't know. He's just plays on the whim too much emotion. Like Jose said, you play one good game and you think you're world class. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and plus Ozil's done now, to be honest. Like, the whatever shred of talent Ozil had when he moved to Arsenal, when he moved to the Emirates, it's gone now. Like, can he still play a decent pass? I guess.
It's like our
they'll bring back
situation.
one game. They'll bring back one game and you'd be amazing. Then the pundits will be like, here he is. Ozil should start. Then Arteta does start him, and then he's crap for 5. So
yeah, but that's
like,
the thing, Rico. That's the thing. Like, when people say Ozil's talented, what I hear is Ozil still got it. To me, Ozil still doesn't got it. He got nothing. Mata doesn't got anything. Mata hasn't got anything. Like, even when Mata played well against Norwich, I'm like, it's Norwich. That's how crap I think Norwich is. I hope I've got my point across. I expect people like Johan Mata to play well against Norwich because that's how crap I think Norwich is. So with Ozil, I hear you. Can Ozil play a decent pass? Yeah, he's a professional footballer. Expected. It's his job to play passes. He's in the midfield. Duh. Can Ozil get past a player on his day? I guess. Can Ozil score a worldie? I mean, I've watched Pereira score a worldie, so what's your point? Can Ozil... But, like, you know, besides that, what can Ozil do on a consistent basis? Nothing. I think he's past it.
Yeah.
And I think his age doesn't help him as well. And I know that's harsh, but the evidence is there. The guy's played so many games and he's only got 1 goal. You talked about Arteta starting him and him being good 1 game and crap the rest of the 5 games. He's been crap the whole season now. He's become just like Jesse. Like, 1 goal in a whole calendar year playing for Arsenal as an attacking midfielder. That's you can't defend that. Like, I don't care how many Rabonas you do in training and how many cricketers and dragbacks and how many rainbow flicks and how many volleys you score in training. Like, you're a professional footballer. You should be able to do things most people can't do with the football. That's not what I'm concerned about. What can you do against teams like Norwich? Like, you know, for me, that's indefensible. And with guys like Ozil, I tend to write them off because I'm like, I go off the evidence based on the recent past. And Ozil hasn't been crap in the recent past. Ozil has been crap since he got to the Emirates. Like, that's the thing. It's similar with Sanchez. Sanchez, as soon as he came to Old Trafford, was just crap. Can Sanchez score if you gave him a chance? Yeah, I guess. He's a professional footballer who gets paid 400k a week. Like, he can probably score a nice finesse curler that most of us could only dream of scoring in our backyard with our mates. But that doesn't mean he's still got it. He's got nothing because he can't get on the end of a ball. So what good does it serve? And it's the same argument I used with Mata. You may still have the abilities of a midfield maestro, but if you can't run quick enough to get to the ball, what's the point? Like, you're old, Ninja. I'm not trash talking, but you're old. We all go through it. Like, your legs just can't move as quickly as they used to. Hard, I don't know what to tell you. And that's what I feel.
Those must go. You must go to Inter.
That's that joke was made.
Okay, they're ranking up football talent. I'm serious. You must go to Inter.
That's a violation, man. That's a violation. But I mean, Ashley Young's doing well at Inter, so maybe.
Sanchez doing well as well. Look out.
Yeah, but I mean, Sanchez is
more talent.
No, like, Sanchez is way more talent than Ozil at the moment because as crap as Sanchez has been, he hasn't been as crap as Ozil. Like, Ozil has been crap since he got to the Emirates. Sanchez was a player of the year when he got to the Emirates. So the period of time between Sanchez being crap and Sanchez being a good player is much shorter than the period of time Ozil was a crap player. I mean, even when Ozil was in that Real Madrid squad, even when Ozil was in Real Madrid, there was questions about him being world-class because he was on and off. When Sanchez was at Barcelona and when Sanchez was at Arsenal, he was world-class week in, week out. So there was no questions about it there.
Oh, yeah, prime Alexis Sanchez.
Yes, but what I'm saying is prime Alexis Sanchez was just a year ago. Prime Ozil was 5, 6, 7 years ago. And did Prime Ozil even exist? Was Prime Ozil even worth mentioning? Because Prime Ozil only showed up some days in the Bernabeu. He was even crap at Madrid at sometimes. So the point I'm trying to make is the comparisons between Sanchez and Ozil nowadays, I think, are a bit unfair because the amount of time that Ozil's been crap is way longer than Sanchez has been crap. I'd rather have Sanchez in my team than Ozil. I know that sounds crazy because they're both crap, but like I feel like it's different levels. There's levels to crap, you know? It doesn't all smell the same.
Yeah.
But that's just my 2
Ozil's
cents.
a bit of a waste.
Ozil, dude, no, man. And I liked Ozil. Like, I did like Ozil. I did think he was a talented player. And I used to be a huge Ozil advocate. But, you know, life sometimes ain't about your intentions. It's about your actions. You know, it's about what you actually do. And what has Ozil done in the last 5 years to suggest he has any shred of talent? Played one good pass and scored one worldie, okay. And then Jesse's done that as well. Pereira's done that as well. It's just like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Lukaku even had that at United, and people still call him crap, you know? He still scored the goals at United. So I don't know with Ozil. I think the jury's out on players like Ozil because of his age. He's not going to suddenly become better if he goes to Inter. That's my worry with Ozil. Like, he's not going to suddenly recover the talent because he's been so crap for so long. At least with Sanchez, you can say he just had a bad season. You can make that argument. Because, like, what's wrong with that argument? He's good at Arsenal.
I don't think he'll ever be top class again. But who knows? Maybe there'll be a team that can get something out of him that can help him.
I think Inter's that team. I think Inter's that team. And I think you can make that argument with a lot of players at Inter because they were just crap for a couple of seasons. It wasn't that bad. Like with Eriksen at Spurs, even on his worst day, was probably still one of Spurs' best players. Genuinely, at least in my opinion. So, like, as crap as Eriksen was, it was only for a short amount of time. So I understand why he's doing well at Inter. I understand why Ashley Young's doing well at Inter because Ashley Young, the characteristics he had at Old Trafford and the characteristics he has at Inter are not that different. Inter's just a slower league, so he gets to do what he tried to do at Old Trafford. Like, I'm not shocked Ashley Young's doing well at Inter. But if Ozil did go to Inter and he did do well, I would be shocked because the things that have nothing to do with pace and being a young player, he's still crap at. Passing the ball, trapping it, getting rid of it, being an intelligent footballer, not making silly mistakes, you know? Kind of like David Luiz in that sense. If David Luiz went to Inter tomorrow, do you think he'd do well? Probably not, because the characteristics that allow him to do well at Inter, he doesn't even have at Arsenal. The problem with David Luiz is he's not old, he's not slow, he's not past it. He doesn't have an agility problem. He can play a full 90 minutes. He's not like Mata. You know what the problem is with him? He's not a defender because he's just crap. And if you put him in any team, he's not going to suddenly not make mistakes. The mistakes he's made is not because the Premier League's too hard. The mistakes he's made is because he's just crap. And I don't think that changes if you put him in Inter Milan. So, you know, I apologize for that rant.
I believe it's like if Trent plays centre back, to be honest. He's got all the attacking attribute, but defensively, nothing.
Yeah, dude, but it's like that. But, like, I don't know how to like, I guess to further get my point across, the characteristics that allow you to be a good player in the leagues like the Serie A, they don't suddenly just crop up because you move there. They were always there. It's just in the Premier League, you need that and more, you know? Like I've said, I have no doubt that Matic would do well if he went to a slower league. No doubt at all, because the stuff he does in the Premier League, he could just transfer that to a slower league and he could be so much more useful. Matic would have yards of space to work with. You know how many diagonal balls that man could play if he played for like an Inter? You'd think you hear people like Ricky making comparisons between him and Pogba if he went to Inter because of the diagonal balls that guy will be playing week in, week out. It's just in the Premier League when you have three people closing you down quickly and the diagonal ball is not the best option and you have to get rid of it quickly. That's where age becomes a factor because you got to be quick, you got to be intense, you got to be on it all the way. Stop starts, 90 minutes. And with Ozil, it's like even if you put him in Inter, I don't see him playing that diagonal ball because I haven't seen him doing it at Arsenal in a long, long time. I don't see him scoring that worldie. I don't see him passing the ball and doing like that $1 million Ozil pass. I don't see any of that because that's how crap I think he has become. And I would make a similar argument with Lingard because it's like with Lingard, even though I prefer Lingard over Ozil, like what has Lingard done? Like against Norwich, Lingard should be playing well. Like you telling me the teams in the Serie A are worse than Norwich. So if Lingard went there tomorrow, he'd start playing well. Nah. He should be playing well against Norwich. Like the evidence that you do well in the Serie A should be against teams like Norwich.
Yeah, Norwich are shite. Proper shite.
Yeah, like Ashley Young had some good games at Old Trafford. So I wasn't surprised.
And I liked Ashley Young. Even when he had some good games. That type of character.
Yeah, like so his characteristics that he's showing at Inter aren't a surprise. Like we saw them, it just wasn't good enough for the Premier League. That's the point I'm trying to make with Ozil. So I don't know, but maybe I'm being harsh on Ozil because to be fair, I don't really watch Arsenal that much. I mean, why would you? Who watches Arsenal?
You wouldn't see him anyway.
Yeah, you wouldn't see him anyway. Yeah, you wouldn't see him anyways. But like, let's just suppose I did watch Arsenal. Why would you? Waste of time. Unless they're playing against my team, obviously. Waste of time. But anyways, that was your match preview. There was more about Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City than there was about Bournemouth because in truth, there isn't much to talk about. We can talk about the score predictions in a bit. Actually, now. What am I saying? What do you think the score is going to be? I'll go first. 3-0, Manchester United.
First team plays.
They won a row. Yeah?
First team plays. I think we'll win it 2-0. First team doesn't play. I think we're going to lose.
2-0. Dude, why are you being so safe?
Nah.
3-0.
Nah.
Wait, what is wrong with you?
The stress level too high. I've been scarred by
What
my
is
club.
wrong with you?
I've been scarred by my club. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you've been scarred by your
and
club.
I'll be
I
happy
get that.
after it.
But your club hasn't lost in 14 games. There hasn't been a period of time. Except
that's
under
the
Jose.
worst thing. That's the worst thing. I'm always thinking when's it coming. It's like I'm meant to when's it come. When's the smack come?
Nah. Enough of that. 2-0. That's 2-0. Come on, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Can't be safe, Archer. They're 19.
As I said, I think these guys are decent players. I think they're crap right now. And I've seen these guys fall apart. They fall apart proper. Didn't they get smashed by Newcastle just now? So I think we're going to smash them as well. 4-0 United.
Yeah. This is a field of cows on laxatives, fam. Just crap.
Yeah,
man.
I hope you boys are right. Obviously, I hope you boys are right. But, yeah.
You don't have to hope you're right, because we are right. They're 19th, Ronnie. They're 19th. This is not a team that on some days shows up. No, they're 19th. They've only won 8 times. And I'm pretty sure those 8 times weren't against us, even when we were crap. So they're 19th, dude. Relax. They're 19th, you know? The 19th.
Relax.
And anyone who knows me knows I don't talk this confidently unless there's an objective reason. But the Bournemouth are that crap. I can't. If we lose to Bournemouth, I can't forgive Ollie. Because they're so crap. It would be like losing to a League One side or League Two side, like Brentford or one of the, you know, them teams there, fam. Like, it would be like losing to Tranmere. It just can't happen. Even when we were crap, we played Tranmere out the park. Harry Maguire looked like a world-class midfielder against Tranmere, scoring half volleys on the edge of the box because they were crap. Bournemouth are crap. There's nothing they can do in this game to beat Manchester United unless Manchester United just don't show up. Genuinely, we need to not show up, and they need to play against an empty field and an empty goals, and they still might only win 1.
The first team has more than enough to beat this team. But if that first team doesn't play,
even if it's a blended team, we should win. But if I agree, if it's our third team, you can't trust because these men nearly lost to Norwich. If it wasn't for Maguire and Pogba, these men would have actually gone to penalties with the worst team in the league.
Exactly.
So if it was our third team playing, yeah, you never know. But with our first team, no, Chiefs. I understand what's happening in the last 7 years, but even I have to say that Bournemouth, no. Unless we got stuck in traffic on the bus and the game started without us, I don't see this team winning. That's how crap I think they are.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. But I'll always have my questions.
I understand it. Don't worry. I've been here for the last 7 years. I understand it. I've seen us lose to Burnley 2-0.
They might get a goal with the players they have. But if they are trying to get a goal, they're going to leave a gaping hole at the back. And we're definitely going to exploit that.
Yeah, I've seen us lose to MK Dons. I've seen us lose 4-0 to MK Dons. I've seen us lose 3-0 to the Banter Club FC, who were celebrating being above Tottenham. You're 8th and you're talking about how red London is, fam. How sad. But I just know now's a different time because we are 14 games unbeaten. We have the second most clean sheets in Europe, tied with Liverpool. I'm not sure if that stat is still true, but I'm guessing it is. And if it actually, did Liverpool keep it? They didn't keep a clean sheet against Everton, right? Or did they?
They did.
Oh no, they did. What about against Palace?
No. They did again, yeah.
Okay, actually, I think we have the same amount of clean sheets because we had no clean sheets against Spurs, but we've had a clean sheet since the game against Spurs, right? And then except the FA Cup, obviously. And then they lost to City now. That removes their clean sheet. So yeah, if Liverpool has more clean sheets than us in Europe at the moment, it's because of the Norwich result. But they're one ahead of us in that case. So I'm not sure what the actual stat is. But before lockdown, we had the second most clean sheets in Europe, tied with Liverpool. We were 9 games unbeaten since Bruno Fernandes had joined. Since then, Paul Pogba has been match fit and match ready. They've both played together. They've played extremely well. We've seen the levels of difference between them. So, if you had to make an argument for Bournemouth, you're really just delusional. Even if Bournemouth did win, you can't sit here and say, I told you so, because nobody can see this coming. And if Bournemouth pulled an upset, fam, I don't know anymore. I think I give up on the match prediction segment, period, if we lose to Bournemouth, because, what's the point? You know, if we lose to Bournemouth, then football really is anybody's game. But that's been your rant. That's been your match preview. Let us know what your score predictions are in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, as it helps the channel grow. And don't be shy to leave something in the comments down below. But other than that, gentlemen, unless there's anything else that you guys want to say,
No.
peace out.